In this video, we are talking to one of our alumni, Lakshmi, who started her career at TCS as a software engineer, but she wanted to transition into data engineering. She was putting in the effort, but without the right direction, progress felt slow and uncertain. That's where she decided to join Bosscoder's program. And things started to change. With the right structure and mentorship, she was able to bring clarity to her preparation and make a confident transition into a data engineering role. So come, let's hear her story. So Lakshmi, can you please introduce yourself and tell me more about your professional journey?
Okay, I have completed my bachelor's in engineering and I've started my career with TCS as a software developer. So I have an overall experience of around 6 years as a software developer, and now I'm transitioning into a data engineering domain. So I had enrolled my course in Bosscoder and I've started learning and preparation into data domain.
So, what were the challenges you were facing to transition to data engineering?
Okay, when I started my career as a software developer, initially I was not having a view about this data domain. Like I think that was the time it was booming actually. Around 2010, it started to boom, and I started my career at 2015. So at that time, it was not so very well known. And by the time after this COVID and everything, there is much data that is being generated, and that is when I came to know about this domain, data domain, and I started exploring the details, like what are the opportunities, what are the growths that can be in this data domain, and also we have the cloud also coming up. So it has a huge benefit when it comes to data, because the cloud storage and everything, it helps a lot with the data domain. So that is where I felt I should explore into this data domain, and I started learning about the tech skills, and I was researching the different roles that are available, and that is when I got some insight, and I started researching on the roadmap and how one can start to prepare for a data engineering. And I looked into multiple other academies also which provide these courses, and I felt the timings and the schedule, it was comfortable for me, like how Bosscoder is handling it. So I felt this would work rather than spending some time and doing things off my own. I think I would lose my focus at some time when I'm not having the right direction, because it is not the same thing that is available in YouTube or whatever resources we have, because it will all be having a different directions. Each would have a different perspective. This is something that would fit, and it has a proper structure to proceed with. So that's why this transition was happening.
Okay, great. And how was your experience of the Boss Coders program?
Yeah, in Bosscoder, it was very comfortable to start learning with, and the instructors were explaining very well, so that one can understand, like even if they are very new to those technologies, and the timing and how they take the classes. Like there will be a few minutes for doubts, and then they continue with the sessions again. So the structuring of their uh, sessions, it is also so good that it is very easy for everyone to follow.
Great. And how was your experience with personal mentorship? Did you get any chance to be in one-on-one mentorship sessions?
Yes, I have taken a couple of mentor sessions with the boss coder, and it was very useful actually. Every time I sit with my mentor and we speak about what are the sessions happen and how was it going, and how far I'm able to catch up and practice and gain knowledge. All those things we would discuss, and we will look into like the strengths and weakness wherever I have to focus much. So all these things we would discuss, and the mentors would also give idea about what are the things I should be focusing on. So that helps a lot to improve myself.
Which is that one thing that stood out the most? Which is that one thing that was the best for you in the Boss Coders program?
I would say it is the mentorship that is standing out from everything else, and also the curriculum that is structured in a very proper way so that it is having the structure to build it from the basics, and
Yeah,
it is structured in a proper structure, like
got it.
start with the SQL, Python, and then go to PySpark. It has that way
Right,
of learning.
right. And before clearing your interview, I assume you would have practiced a lot of mock interviews. So how did you approach that? How did you practice for mock interviews?
So mock interviews, as I mentioned, during the mentor sessions, there would be a few questions from the mentors, like which would be like the mock interview, which I practiced, and it was good to have the real questions that are being asked and to get an idea about how to answer those questions and how to tackle it. So those things, it was helpful. So yeah, that was Lakshmi's journey. What really stands out here is that working in the right direction can truly bring in results. A lot of working professionals put in the effort, but without clarity, people feel stuck. And once that clarity comes in, things start to move in much faster. So, if you felt relatable and want to be a part of the Boss Coders program, then we have put the links in the description below. And for more such stories, press like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.